ready now.
You'd think adapting Jurassic Park into a video game would be easy, yet the license has seemed doomed to forgettable fare, bar a couple of notable exceptions. But after a slew of lower profile adaptations, Telltale struck a deal with Universal to adapt both Back to the Future and the Dinosaur Monster Mash into episodic adventures. As the last game before the juggernaut Walking Dead debuted, it's clear to see what direction the genre was heading. But with a combination of bland storytelling, technical woes, and underwhelming gameplay, Jurassic Park the game ultimately lacks bite. Taking place around the same time as the 1993 classic, Jurassic Park revolves around a mission to sneak embryos out of the park, something loosely covered in the film. After a chain of events which sees the embryos in the hands of a mercenary, we follow Jerry Harding and his daughter, Jess, as a tropical storm causes the power to cease, letting dinosaurs run amok. Spread across 4 episodes, the story sees the father-daughter duo entangled in this smuggling plot, while InGen mercenaries are also sent in to retrieve the survivors, resulting in further complications, character development, and a few twists. But ultimately, the narrative is desperately lacking in character, with a few moments of excitement often muddied by a meandering pacing, uninteresting personalities in archetypal roles, and bereft of the charm which made the movie so popular. Divvied across a quartet of episodes, the gameplay feels consistent across the board. Each episode has you investigating scenes, solving puzzles, and partaking in a myriad of action sequences, utilising heavy amounts of QuickTime events. The problem is that none of these parts feel deep enough to sustain excitement. Exploration is rigid and simplistic, as you can't even navigate your character around the environment, merely click on icons to interact. Puzzles are as basic as they come, with straightforward solutions and very few that feel involving. The abundance of QTEs range from simplistic to painfully fast, with mistakes building towards death and forced restarting of these set pieces. Admittedly, there are some moments that get the blood pumping, such as outrunning a T-Rex or swimming around deadly sea dinosaurs, but they begin to grate not long after the first episode concludes. One benefit the frequent use of QuickTime events does bring is a weird, yet oddly satisfying, slew of deaths to experience. Like a classic Sierra adventure, the myriad of ways you can perish actually entices failure, as characters are trampled on, eaten, and mauled by the wildlife inhabiting the park. Although avoiding failure rewards medals and, in most cases, trophies, there's a perverse satisfaction to seeing Telltale go to the trouble of animating such a large number of deaths across the 4 episodes. It adds a bit of replay value to an otherwise fairly short game, which barely hits the 10-hour mark before reaching its conclusion. Real praise can be given to the presentation, which, dull narrative aside, does feel similar to the films. The visuals are clean, yet slightly exaggerated, making characters and dinosaur models stand out on a mostly rudimentary environment. The animation is decent enough, conveying emotions and actions well. The sound also deserves praise, with solid voice work that's sadly wasted on a dull script and dialogue which feels disconnected from context. The music is great too, with some smaller tracks feeling similar to the John Williams bombast we've come to expect from this franchise. The only bummer is a few technical woes, including frame rate dips, stuttering between scenes, and even a few crashes on the third episode. Jurassic Park the game is an underwhelming take on Spielberg's iconic film, which fails to add much to that experience. Though it manages to get the aesthetic of the film right, along with some sadistic deaths which lend it a 90s adventure game charm, it's not enough to overcome trite gameplay, technical failings, and a lackluster narrative core. It's hard to invest in characters when they so clearly fall into predictable tropes, and everything else which should hold the game together is weak at best. Unless you're a Telltale diehard who needs to explore everything this developer had to offer, or a Jurassic Park nut who must experience every way to re-enter this prehistoric death trap, this one is perhaps best left in the past.